And welcome to my weekly pajama review, which will definitely not be a weekly thing, but yeah, it's just catchy enough. So, this week we have something special with, first of all, the background being all different because I'm back home again. And yeah, apart from this, we have a very special guitar right here. It's actually the guitar that I gave as a present to my girlfriend last year after we went and saw Children of Bodom live, and she kind of fell in love with the V model. And I wanted to get like a Randy Rose or Alexi model, but in the end it didn't work out in the time frame that I wanted, so I just bought a regular type of flying V, thingy, which is amazing, and that's why I want to review this today with you guys. So first and foremost, this guitar was extremely cheap. Now that wasn't my intention, but it's just the way it was. I mean, I just found it and it was hilariously cheap. Making a quick conversion, it was something roughly around 80 bucks. Yeah, something like this. And the whole thing, it's actually a let me see, because it's big and pointy just the way you probably like it. It's a Storm guitar. Probably some of you heard of this brand before, some of you may have not. It's a brand of very affordable guitars. I won't say cheap, because they're very affordable, like extremely affordable, and they have amazing quality in the areas that you're not expecting, such as the wood finish, the quality of the bindings, and the fretwork was amazing. Nothing scratching. It was like a mid to high end guitar in terms of feel. Now, obviously, there were some problems that required some adjustments. First of all, the nut was something that they decided to take the shortcut route with, and the inside of the nut was actually hollow. It was just like an outside glazing in the shape of the nut. So that eventually made the high E string just cut through, and the whole nut just broke at the first string. But I don't mind, because I'd rather have them take shortcuts and cut corners in that department other than other things like wood and overall craftsmanship. Now, that was the only problem in terms of material deterioration. And the other problem, which was a bit more severe but was, let's say, adjustable in the end, was that obviously they're probably not so experienced in terms of routing all sorts of cavities for all sorts of guitars. And with the Flying V models, because I've seen plenty of other Storm guitars for like Les Paul and Strat shapes, but with the Flying V model, for some reason, they kind of did a poor job balancing the height and the plane of where the hardware will sit on the guitar with respect to the depth of the heel, the depth of the heel slot for the whole neck joint, and that actually made the neck right here sit a lot lower, which aesthetically makes sense because this has to be a lot lower. However, with this thing routed like this, and with the plane of the body done in this way, with your tunematic set to its lowest, you would still have an action of about half to 3/4 of an inch, which was just insane. It was like, like this. It was like one finger width. So that was obviously that needed to be repaired, and what I did was I didn't even bother filling up the the neck joint with wood and making the whole connection perfect. I just took like some big ass construction nuts that were exactly the size that I needed, and I just jammed them in underneath, or let's say around, all of the 4 bolts. And now actually I have a very good connection. The leveling is plain. It's perfect, no weird neck angles, no nothing. The action is superb. And yeah, I just masked, very cheaply, I just masked the hollow space right here because I didn't feel like making some big modifications, because again, the whole guitar was very cheap and it was quite honestly perfect, apart from this mishap right here and the stupid silly nut problem. Tuners are working great, frets are great, wood is great, pickups, electronics, everything is great. I just decided to mod things a bit just visually with her, because she wanted to like play a bit with the colors. So we just took the three knobs that we had here, the 3 pots, and we made it just a volume for neck and bridge, and we just put a silly smiley face right here because it's super metal in the place of the other pot. And obviously we could have played a lot more with the colors, but at this point it just looks like this. Probably some of you will like it, some of you will be like, blah, doesn't matter, it's our guitar, right? So that's another point. And yeah, this is something that she chose for herself with the parts that I had around the house. And I also ordered some of them, and the only thing that I did was when I gave this to her, I put a logo like sticker decal with Alexi on it, like a stencil figure. So yeah, honestly, it's a super affordable guitar, and especially if you're like a metalhead, metal enthusiast, and you want just something that rocks out, plain and simple, heavy gain. This is very normal sounding in terms of what you get out of it. It's not whatever Gibson or Fender tone. It's straight, simple, average tone, but it does the job really, really good for rock and metal, so nothing to complain about, quite honestly. And yeah, usually people say for such affordable guitars, they're crap, they're firewood. If you're a beginner, don't even start using such things, because you'll give up, because they're good for nothing, and you'll develop a lot of frustration and bad habits. Maybe with some guitars it's like this, but certainly not with this one. It's not only suited for a beginner, it's suited for medium, and even advanced players. You can just do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. You can even record. I'll be having some videos somewhere in the future with this baby on, and you'll just see that it sounds as good as any other guitar, especially for high gain and metal. So yeah, one of the things that probably beginners do is they have a crappy practice amp, and what happens in that case is that, for example, let me just try to do something right here. They probably have some weird ass, let me just turn it down a bit. They have like a crappy practice amp, and they just want to rock out on some Metallica or even more extreme metal, and they set it all up to like 11, and they just decide to practice whatever crap they learned for the past week, especially like blues lead lines on top of metal solos, and the whole thing just ends up sounding like, you know, and yeah, immediately you associate that type of crap with, you know, cheap guitars that just sound horrible and they're firewood automatically, right? So it's not the case. You can actually have very decent tones. Well, again, I'm using a practice amp right now because I'm back home and I don't have all my cool gizmos here, but bonus points, and yeah, I'll be taking your request if you know what that song was. It's an intro. It's not a chorus, not a verse, not a bridge, definitely not a solo, so it's the utmost right intro of a song. Feel free, let me know if you know what this is. I'll be taking your request if you do know what it is. If not, well, just screw you, because I love you dearly and sincerely. So yeah, all in all, like, these things are amazing for the price point. Obviously, probably at this point they're not 80 bucks or who knows, but it's, you know, cheap guitars like these, like, you know, the Harley Bentons, the entry lines of the Harley Bentons, the whatever we had in the past, you know, or even with like J Tersers, or with you know, glary guitars and Squires, and I mean the low-end Squires and Epiphones and the Ibanez Geos and all those guitars. Like, don't bash them. They're amazing products, and yeah, my battery's running out, but they're amazing products. And the thing is, you have to realize that for this amount of money, it's even hard to come up with the materials themselves, not to mention the, you know, craftsmanship and assembly and everything else that goes into making a full product. And again, it's not a crappy one. It's not something in the shape of a guitar that just fails to do things properly. It's actually a very, very good guitar. Like, if I would have had this guitar when I first started out, that would have been amazing, right? And yeah, it's just no comparison. So stop bashing, you know, cheap guitars. Some of them are really crappy, but most of them are affordable. I mean, especially in the latest years, the last few years, probably back, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, I know they were so crappy. They were like almost firewood, you know, twisted and bent necks, frets all over the place. You couldn't do jack shit action mile high without being able to do anything about it, and just the whole thing was a mess. But nowadays, you can actually get pretty decent guitars, really, for almost nothing, for just a few trips to McDonald's. So yeah, this is my review for this guitar. I hope we'll be making more reviews, and if you have any suggestion for reviews or any demand, or you want to contact me for any type of such you know, gear review, especially, you know, especially special ones like super cheap or super weird or quirky or whatever, just let me know and contact me for any type of idea you might have, right? So don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all the social media bullshit, and yeah, hit that notification button, and see you soon. And yeah, I'm probably naked or not. I'll let you decide.